Hello, I'm Chip Hare, Athletic Director for Piqua City Schools, and today we are going to talk about Hospice of Miami County, as they are a big part of who we are here in the great county of Miami County. We are joined today by a couple of guests. I'm going to let them introduce themselves and tell them the position that they're in.
Hi, I'm Heather Bolton. I serve as the Executive Director of Hospice of Miami County and have had the privilege of serving for the last 18 years.
Hi, I'm Danielle Plankley, and I'm a registered nurse with the Hospice Miami County, and I am a case manager, and I have been with Hospice for 14 years.
We appreciate you both being here today, and really, there's two things we want to talk about today. One, we want to talk about hospice, and I think when people hear hospice, they kind of have in their minds of what they stereotypically think of what it is. And we're going to talk about that, but we're also going to talk about a very special event that we've got coming to Alexander Stadium 1 week from today, and that is the Green Out, that we are going to honor one of our own football players' mother, Stephanie King, who has been battling pancreatic cancer. She's also a part of the hospice care, and again, let's go back to that stereotypical thought everyone thinks when they think of hospice. I think it's the end of one's life, and while that is certainly one of your services that you do, there are a myriad of things that you get involved with, and really Stephanie is she's utilizing the most of that care. So before we talk about Stephanie, let's talk a little bit about hospice, Heather, as Executive Director. Talk a little bit about, it's been established since 1983, so over 36 years of service.
Yes.
What does that entail, and what does that mean for people in Miami County?
So we are the local not-for-profit hospice who have been serving this region and area for the last 36 years, as you said. We continue to invest our time, our energy, and our care in providing superior services to Miami County. There are competitors out there that are for-profit that will, they're not going to invest in an inpatient unit like we are. They are they're going to minimize the amount of care. We're going to put every dollar back into care and services that we provide. We do this with an interdisciplinary approach. Not only do we have nurses like Danielle, but we also surround the family with social workers and chaplains and volunteers and massage therapy and music therapy, anything that we feel would benefit that patient's quality of life.
I think when people hear profit and for nonprofit, I think a lot of people would make the assumption that most hospices are a nonprofit organization. But just like anything else in business, there is competition, and competition is no different in hospice. So maybe give a difference of someone can understand the difference what a for-profit would do in hospice care versus, and I know you talked a little bit about nonprofit differences, but if you could talk maybe what for-profit hospice does in difference in terms of just the organization.
So they're not going to cover any palliative chemo or radiation typically. They're not going to provide the additional massage therapy and music therapy and pay for things that actually cost more. And you're going to see a lot of when symptoms arise that are a little more intense and can't be managed at home, you're going to see them back in the hospital, where we're going to manage those things, and if we can't manage them at home, we've already invested in an inpatient unit, and we bring them in and they remain on our services. So we also save Medicare dollars by doing that.
In the spot of hospice, when people hear the word hospice, they believe that it is the last of the patient's life, that they're ready to move on to the next part of their journey. And while that is part of it, and then people may think that's the last 24, 36, or maybe 48 hours, your services really go a long ways above that. Danielle, talk a little bit about the services specifically that people could get involved with hospice far before they are ready to move on to the next phase of their life.
So typically when we have somebody come on hospice services, we like to bring them in and we have a nurse go out, assess them, kind of see what is going on with them. We have found the earlier that people come on services, the better that their quality of life is. Most of the time when people come on, they usually have a symptom of some sort: nausea, vomiting, pain, shortness of breath, and it's gone untreated for a while. Especially now with the stipulations that they have on narcotics. Our patients have found that their symptoms are increasing. So when they come on services, then we bring them in, see what it is that they need. We collaborate with the team. We have physicians, medical directors that will go to the home and make visits. We have our social worker that will come in. They'll help with living wills, durable power of healthcare attorneys, some of those things that maybe you've not thought about or that you haven't gotten the opportunity to. We've got a chaplain that comes in and will help support somebody. They don't have to be religious to have the chaplain. It is a support and a counseling type service. And then we also have hospices that will come in and they'll help with bathing. So when someone comes on earlier, we're able to get the team in there. The person knows the team and they feel more comfortable when as symptoms progress, then they don't feel like, oh my gosh, my only option is to go back to the hospital. Right. They can call hospice can come in and we can manage it in wherever their home is. We go into the nursing home, we go into the assisted living, and we go into homes. Our goal is to keep somebody where they're at because that's where they're most comfortable. But if something does come up, we always have other options. Like Heather said, the inpatient unit is a great resource. And then we also have sometimes some brief in-home care to get those symptoms controlled.
If we were to talk about length of hospice care, again, we were talking about, I think people feel like it's maybe the last weeks of their life, but there are people that go months and maybe into the 12-month span, years of hospice care. Can you talk a little bit about that and what that might look like for somebody and why someone would get involved with hospice so early?
So one does have to have a terminal diagnosis in order to be eligible for hospice care. That is a Medicare criteria that any hospice would have to have. What we see, unfortunately, is they're so scared of the word hospice is that they don't want to make that referral because they think that they're going to pass away in the next few hours. That is so far from the case. Statistics already show that with hospice care, someone facing a terminal illness will actually live longer than if they do not have hospice care. And it's based on the interdisciplinary team coming around that entire family and supporting them throughout the symptoms. And then when they have a setback, we immediately adjust and surround them with whatever we need in that moment. It's also a comfort level, as Danielle mentioned, really being able to feel comfortable reaching out to our team in those periods of possibly panic or a symptom has arisen. And if you ask anyone where they would like to be, they don't want to be in a hospital. So we do the best we can to keep them in the environment that they're comfortable in.
The one thing that I'm hearing from you guys is indirectly it's a connection you're making with that patient and their families because they obviously are going through a very troublesome time and their time might be a few hours, but it also may be months and even into the year of that they might be far from their point where they are ready to pass. So making them connected and feeling like they're still connected to this world is really an important part of what your service is.
Yes, we encourage our patients to remain as active as they are able to. Get out and use, check off that bucket list. Go see the person you haven't seen in a while. Reach out and connect. We'll help you do that. We have our Hope Fund, which is like our special needs fund that helps people be able to achieve some of those goals. We've had that for the entire time we've been in business. It's something that we want to continue to do. In fact, in this circumstance, we encourage our patients to take that last vacation. We want you to take a vacation, enjoy the time with your family, and really connect. And sometimes, because we see it, it's not our first journey helping someone come alongside with them, but we recognize every day that it is their first journey. And the team does an amazing job of coming right alongside with them and meeting them where they are. This is not us trying to hasten the end. This is us trying to give quality of life when the end is near.
Let's transition to Stephanie King. This is what our greenhouse is about. We are going to be honoring Stephanie next Friday, but we have been doing it this past week with t-shirt sales and here at the school. Also, it's already been out on social media and that we've had quite a few people come in from outside of the communities that have no connection to Pickaway City Schools but have a connection to Stephanie. That want to help and promote what she's been about. Stephanie is really, as we were talking earlier in the video, she's really been one that has taken advantage of all the services that hospice has to offer. As we speak, she's actually on vacation. You, I think last week, Danielle, got her prepped and ready to go so she could enjoy a vacation with her family.
Absolutely.
Danielle, you might talk about that a little bit?
So one of the things that we do pride ourselves on is individualized care. When we come in, we say, what is it that we can help you do? What is it that is the most important to you? And it's called a quality of life goal. And once we identify that, then we try and talk with them and get them to where they can do those things. For Stephanie, very important for her to still be active in her son's life, go to football games, be able to get out and enjoy what's going on. So when we came in, she was having a lot of symptoms. So we were able to collaborate with our hospice physician, and she came in and made adjustments in her medications for all of her symptoms, to the point where now she's active and she's able to get out and she's able to go. And that's what we want. We don't want someone to sit in their house and just be there and be uncomfortable and not be able to enjoy what they do. So we just the medications, they go out and they enjoy their life.
So Stephanie right now is actually in Michigan with her sister, spending time, and I should mention that Stephanie is the mother of Max King. Max is one of, as you mentioned, one of our football players. He's also a three-sport athlete here for us at the school. So to have her to have that opportunity to spend with family more, by the fact that you're managing her pain and being able her to keep her active. And Heather, as you said, you want to encourage people to be as active as you possibly can.
Absolutely.
Because that certainly is going to not encourage them, but it's also encourage their family and people that are around them.
Right.
A little bit more about Stephanie. Danielle, I know, what has been your experience about Stephanie? What are some of the things that draw you to Stephanie, and what are some of the things that highlight some of the things that so many people find very, I would say, adorable about her?
She is adorable. She's very humorous. I think when I came in, we had a pretty instant connection just because of humor. You know, humor is a wonderful thing, especially when you're going through something like this, and she has maintained it through everything that she has gone through. I think that she's very giving and very caring. I hear her talking about worrying about everybody else, to the point where you know, she'll put her things aside to make sure everyone's taken care of. So those are some of the things that I have come to really enjoy about her. She's a great conversationalist. We have some wonderful conversations when I go there, and she's just a joy. She's a pleasure.
Well, the thing that you get when you speak with Stephanie is you would never know what she's been through in terms of her battle with pancreatic cancer.
Very true.
Because she has such a great attitude, and it's a radiant attitude of sunshine, and it's very contagious. And people like that is obviously why she's getting so much support on the outside, that people genuinely like her, not because of the situation she's in, but because of the energy she gives others.
You knock on the door to go for a home visit, and she pulls the door open and she's smiling. No matter what she's going through, she's always smiling. And that is just a wonderful thing to see.
Well, I appreciate you sharing your story about Stephanie, but also about hospice. I think a lot of people are just not sure what hospice is, and again, what they know here, all the great things that you guys give, the support of Miami County is very, very good for them. But I hear so many people tell me they give to hospice because they either had their own experiences, they were so loving and so caring at the end of their loved one's journey that it just meant so much. And you talk about connections. You've made a lot of connections with people here in Miami County.
We do. We do. We're very proud of the team that we have. We have a lot of longevity. We are your neighbors taking care of our neighbors. And we pride ourselves on that. And that is our mission. We want to provide superior care, superior services to everyone we have the privilege of serving. And I couldn't ask for a better team to take care of them.
One of the things that I think we probably hear the most is, I wish I would have called sooner. I didn't understand how much you guys provide. And that's a repeating thing that we hear all the time. And we wish people would have called sooner too.
Well, how would someone make that contact if they're watching this video and they may be going through this time? how do they make that connection and how they make that contact earlier?
So they can pick up the phone and call anytime. We are willing to talk to anyone, and regardless of whether you feel now is the time or maybe you know someone, a family member can make a referral. Physicians, we do have to have a physician's order to go out and see a patient because it is a medically driven care. But I would pick up the phone and call. We're always there Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Our office is open, and our team is available to those who are on service 24 hours, 7 days a week.
One of the other things is, so when that transformation to the next life happens, your services don't necessarily stop because you also have grieving services that are available for the family.
We do.
Those are probably the most, one of the most, as a birth comes into the world, a death out of the world is just as transformational for those people.
It is.
Talk a little bit about that experience, if that's okay, what that means to people, because for people that have been there and have seen that, it's something they never forget. But then how do we help with those people through that piece afterwards with the grieving services that you have?
So I can describe a peaceful death. I actually had one recently. And so a peaceful death is when you're surrounded by your loved ones, they've given you the permission and said goodbyes, and you put a cross in their hand and they take their last breath. It is equally as emotional as a birth. And it is one of the moments that some folks are scared to be present for, but I think just like some folks are scared to be present for a birth, it is a very touching thing that you will never forget for the rest of your life. And I believe life is about making memories, and those are the memories that people want to have. They're good memories,
right.
And a legacy is left with that family. The aftercare that we provide, we follow up with cards initially, with phone calls as well. They're invited to join all of our grief support groups. We provide those throughout the year. If there are children involved in that family, we offer a summer bereavement camp every year. That's for a week long in June. We reach out with our bereavement coordinator reaches out to every single individual listed as a family member for every patient, and just want to touch base and see how they're doing. And they do a little bit of an assessment based on that phone call to figure out, is there something more we can do and step up for? And then we also host a variety of bereavement walks and things to do, like memorials. We just hosted our river walk at Stillwater, and it was, we had the highest attendance. We had 230 people attend this, and it was to honor their loved one, and it's a time of memory, and we want to honor that. We had the privilege of caring for them, and we want to keep caring for that family.
Danielle, as we close, one of the things that I'm getting from this conversation, not just about Stephanie, but the others, is the connections that you have with your patients too. How difficult is it for you as you get connected with them and you're seeing them move through that? It's got to be a challenge for you, but also very rewarding as well.
It really is. It's an honor. That's one of the things that I always say. It is an honor to take care of our patients. You become connected. You can't avoid it. But I know that I'm on a journey with them, and I'm privileged to be there with them. And if I can come in and I can make that journey easier for them, then that's what keeps me going. You give a little bit to every patient that you have, but you also get much more back. And so my heart is filled as I'm giving away some of my heart, and I wouldn't trade for the world. It really, I love what I do. Our patients are great, and we're blessed that they allow us into their home and give us that privilege of taking care of them.
Well, you can see the passion and energy that you speak with about just your organization, but your patients, and we certainly appreciate you guys being here and sharing your stories about Hospice of Miami County and what that connection means, not just to the county itself, but the individuals that you're caring for. And we greatly appreciate you also talking about Stephanie. She is and I think it would be also, I would be remiss if I didn't say this is not a doom and gloom scenario for Stephanie. She is very much talking about living life and living it to its fullest, and this green out is for her, but it's also an opportunity, as she wanted to highlight hospice of Miami County because you guys do so many wonderful things beyond just what people may see on the scope of a radar.
It's certainly, it is very appreciated. When I went and talked with her about it, I cried because it means so much. She's a great person and we enjoy her. I love seeing her, I love seeing her smile, and I love seeing her being able to get out and do things.
Well, we will look forward to you guys being a part of our night as we honor Stephanie next Friday at Alexander Stadium. It'll be in between the first and second quarters. Again, thank you for being here with us, and thank you for being with us here on the Indian Nation Station to talk about Hospice of Miami County. We encourage you to make that phone call, get on their website, and learn all of their services as they have a great team of doctors, volunteers, and nurses. For Chip, Heather, and Danielle, have a great day.